right, good morning, everybody. What's up? What's up? Hopefully, you have an amazing day so far. And we're just gonna get started here. Apologies for the quick delay. Wi-Fi was pretty much out, and now we're here. But I will say that very, very exciting times to be in for really just everything, right? Really, whatever any market that you're actually participating in, whether it's, crypto, stocks. I mean, the fear is everywhere, right? Like, I'm not sure if you guys actually been able to really dive in deep inside the markets, but let's just kind of go straight into the point here because, a lot of the times whenever we were on these sessions or just train alone, you have to be able to understand one thing, and that one thing is for you to really, really just narrow down what is that you're looking for, right? What am I participating in? What am I aiming to hit? And if today is one of those days where if we sit out, or are we here to actually just dive in deep, right? Because on Tuesday, just for anybody that trades currencies here, Forex Factory, of course, is those websites that you can actually use to kind of dictate to see where the market's looking at. But there is also sometimes things, and you can kind of test out yourself, but there are also some things that where you can actually use different sources as well too. Like when you start to look at the bigger perspective when it comes down to the markets, think about like using X. A lot of people now use the Twitter, aka X, just because like now the goal is for intention, right? The goal is market. The goal is for you to really just be able and see where the market conditions are headed. For Tuesday, just to kind of just look at this, we have AUD pair news that actually happened not too long ago, really more so midnight. JPY, and then for the rest of the day for tomorrow, we have some dollar news for anybody that is dollar. It's gonna be pretty exciting as well too. Kind of keep that eye out. Also, for Thursday, we do see here for CHF and GBP that is going on, right? So that's just something kind of you can kind of pay attention. Now let's just kind of get straight into the point for anybody that's trading, whether if you're trading futures market or even just the currencies itself. Let's actually make this one screen and pay attention here what we got going on. And guys, it's been a one little heck of a market here. Let me actually show you here real quick. For those that have been trading these markets and actually have been participating throughout the entire week, you had some type of small, shift and also small little play that happened here, but it was just going to go for that 1 to 2, right? This was something that was very, very paid attention to because of the aspect of the market condition actually, shifting, and we're having very much higher price action of it really just pushing up higher. So anybody that got into this play, this was more of a nice 1 to 2 type of setup that you would want to take and call it a day from that. But now, moving forward here, where are we currently at, right? Where are we currently at with these markets? And what are we looking at for NQ? For NQ, guys, just looking at a bigger perspective, right, on that 4 hour time frame, we're still very bullish, right? We see the market actually at its all-time highs here specifically. And one of the biggest things that we saw when it was at the all-time high, we saw this just very aggressive eruption. MYM also too at its all-time highs, very much an aggressive movement that happened and very bullish here. Now, when you drop down to that 1 hour time frame, the name of the game right now is to really pay attention to where is the money. Okay. That's the main thing you have to ask yourself. Where is the money, right? Where is liquidity? Where is it that the market is going to want to attack people first, or even just hurt the most people, right? And you can actually just kind of see just on a 1 hour time frame, there's so much money just being built up here that you do not want to convince yourself on a smaller time frame and trap yourself into this overall, price action that's happening here. When you have orders that are just being stacked over and over and over again. Now, what I will say though is if you actually pay attention here on a 3 hour time frame, I'm 3 hour, 3 minute, right? A 3 minute time frame. There might be something here around the prices 52,000 for MYM that you might be looking at here specifically, right? Like if you even drop down to a 1 minute time frame, this is where you're gonna really, really want to kind of really annotate something. And when it comes down to these type of setups, I mean, here specifically for anything with YM, especially on a 2 minute time frame, you got to keep in mind a couple of things. Off the bat, I can see a few, a few orders probably being triggered here specifically when it comes down to MYM on a 2 minute time frame, just because we do have this nice aggressive sweep that cleared out all this small 1 to 15 second time frame type of setup. I mean, if you wanted to go on a 15-second time frame and actually look at that yourself, you can see that on 15 seconds, you had the market actually just building up this small trend line liquidity. And then you had this aggressive eruption to the upside that's on a 15 second. If you wanted to go on a more clear standpoint, then you do have 30 seconds also showcasing this, and then just the market melting very aggressively to the downside, right? So now, whenever you had the market pretty much melting very aggressively, you're starting to see the market actually show these imbalances here specifically, where maybe, right, we could get, sorry, just seeing the chat right now. Oh, let's see. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Let me give me a second. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, perfect. So yeah, just kind of coming back to this here specifically, we could see some type of reaction here for on a 2 minute time frame, but I wouldn't really bet on it too much because if you are trying to get into this counter trend type of setup, I mean, the most that you can go for here would be a nice, cool little, like 1 to 2, 1 to 3, you would say. So this is something that you could attempt out. I mean, you have this imbalances here, candle with no wick here, the inefficiency. I mean, you can even use the Fibonacci tool as well to measure. It lands right at the 786 confirmation, right? But of course, just really just keep an eye out the fact that we are on this nice bullish, right, run on a bigger time frame. But we're aware that if we are going to take this smaller setup, it would be just a nice counter trend for 1 to 2. I would really just call that for 1 to 2 specifically. And what's actually giving me this more of confidence too is like even on this 15-minute time frame, if we even go to the line graph, you have the higher high, higher low, and then all of a sudden you have that lower high on a 15 and 5 minute time frame, right? These are small time frames that we're talking about right now. And so market very aggressively worked its way down and now showing us some type of signs that it could play out here. Now on MQ, I mean, MQ now is already sweeping out all this liquidity here that we have, right? You have all this liquidity being swept out specifically here. And at the same time, too, you get this nice, massive, big wick to the upside that just swept all this out. Now, if we drop down, right? Because right now, what I'm just really focusing on, guys, is there some type of setup to play out on these smaller time frames that you can play with? I mean, as of right now, there's not really much that you can play with here on these smaller time frames. Market's really just kind of sweeping money, chopping its way in there specifically, right? I mean, even here too, going back to MES, MES is stacking all of this money here, right? You can even see that specifically too. But if MES actually stacks its orders, right, on that 5 minute time frame, you can actually see that MES has a similar area as MYM, but it's not like the clearest thing. And that's where you get to actually finally make that confirmation where Well, is today one of those days where it's really nothing? Maybe. But then again, these are just kind of plays to look at. We can actually drop this down here. Trap candle right there. Yeah. I could see this right here playing out. If it's something that we can actually just take on a nice 1 to 2. You know, the cool part about this as well is that this hasn't even been swept yet, right? All this liquidity. And the fact that it hasn't even been swept yet and this was swept out, I believe that M M and Q could probably actually shifting a little bit more lower. And if it shifts lower, then where exactly could we be aiming to? You know, because yet all this money is also just stacking up and all this imbalance here is, as well too. That's just being built up. Now, could we be preparing for a bigger setup for a sell in the future? I mean, this could happen, but for this to actually showcase if it comes all the way down here, the best case scenario for you to actually, what you should do is that you should actually just wait for the market to actually give you some type of signs instead, right? Something like that. That would make sense, right? That would make sense if NQ gives us this right here. But as of right now, if it floats above, then guys, this is going to just continue going like that. And then who knows how, just going ripping to the upside. But I would like to see something like this, price maintaining its order flow here. If that happens, then I mean, yeah, we'd be pretty good there. And then for back to MYM, I mean, we're still maintaining, shifting its structure here. So showing us some type of signs here specifically. Pretty nice here. MES, still the same thing. Overall oil, right? Oil is like one of those pairs that I would actually be more interested in. But for now, what I'll do is actually pass it to Gio. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, dude. Good, good, good. We want to see
I
what you
am
got going
so
on over there.
I'm a little late. I promise you I was gonna sleep. Um I was just at a team workout, so that's on me. But I appreciate you, Mary.
Of course, did.
Yeah, let me share my screen real quick. If you can accept me. There we go. Cool. So my other computer is working, not working, so we're gonna just hop on this computer. So right now, guys, coming into the markets, it is 8:19, right? 10 minutes, 10 minutes before New York officially is open. But I have at least a couple of zones. Obviously, this is the weekly, but as we go to the smaller time frames and just look into more in depth, I do see possibility of silver dropping, right? I would want silver to come back to down to the zone. Let's see real quick. Give me a quick second. Honestly, I would want to see a down movement from silver. And then I would want to see a retracement down in this area. Obviously, we had the market here consolidate. Then we had a break a structure down to the downside. Then created new highs. And we left a lot of areas, a lot of imbalances that still need to get filled. So for me, when it comes to overviewing the market, I like to see the bigger picture to the smaller picture. I do want to see silver come down. Does it have to come down right now? It doesn't have to. But there's ways we can figure out. What we do see is instead of creating a higher high, higher low, higher high, right? We created new lows and we didn't break previous higher high, meaning that's giving me confirmation that we're probably bearish. Probably what I would want to see within this zone is a structure, a closure below here. If we see a closure below here in the 5 minute time frame, I will be interested in entering sales. Wait probably for a retracement back into our zone. and then look for potential ways down to that whole area that I had. So as of right now, silver is gonna be something I'm gonna be looking at for short positions. We're not entry guys. I am not in this trade. Do not enter this trade. I am just simply putting my position and telling you what I want to see, right? Closure on 5 and 15 minutes, right? We're gonna be patient. We're not gonna rush into this trade. That's the biggest thing you never want to do. Is jump the bridge into entering something that you should have been patient on. So right there, we're gonna give it a 1 of 3. Either way, this is another consolidation breaker structure, higher high, higher low, higher high. For me, what that indicates, guys, is that we are still bullish. So there is also a probability, right, of this area getting hit and then us continue going higher. So that's why when we do come to this area, I will be okay with taking partials, right? I will not be entering buys, but I'll be a little bit more open into taking partials, having a smaller risk. But as you can see, we're having full movement down. 15 minutes looking good. And we still got another 7 minutes before market completely opens. Same thing with gold, right? If we look at gold, I think it kind of gives us the same picture. We can see this a couple areas. Like I said, what doesn't convince me is you see how our closure for this lower high was right here. Yes, we closed above, but we just didn't really settle. It's not a confirmed closure for me, especially how we're reacting in the zone. So for me, I do want to expect gold continue going lower. But for gold to continue going lower for me, I would need to see a closure below this zone. So just a patient game. Silver is a little bit more on the higher predicament, but if we want to play it safe, I'm gonna be very aware of gold as well, getting a push down so we can get a closure over here. But no setup personally for gold as of right now. Let me go to the bigger time frames. Yeah, it looks bearish. We did try to come up within the zone. A lot of people probably try to sell here, right? You see that liquidity pool and then our instant pushback. A lot of people try to sell in the zone. I can see us working a little higher, but we're just gonna have to wait. Yeah, cool. I'm chilling on gold. Oil. I really like oil, right? And what I like on oil is simple, right? We have our consolidation, right? We had market push above, and then we have market then push down, right? We have these candles back to back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bearish candles, right? Simply for me, let me see the 1 hour. So if obviously we continue down, wow, and oil has taken a huge tank compared to where we were a couple weeks, days ago. We can see an enormous push down from 103. I would want it to see it continue going down all the way to let's do candle closure to 66, right? It looks like the peace treaty is good. Things are getting back to normal, and the gate that was closed is back open. So silver, let's go check out silver real quick, just so since we're on it. Silver is rejecting the zone. Gold is giving us a rejection as well. And oil, what I would like to see in their bigger time frames is a C15. A continuation onto the bearish side, to be honest with y'all guys. That's what I will be looking for when it comes to oil. And possibly a potential sell, right? Okay. And let's look at VIX before we watch the indices. What VIX is, guys, VIX is very simple. This is pretty much catching the fear of the markets, right? As we can see, last week we had an insane fear in the markets. Markets was at all-time peak in fear. Market took a big bearish. A lot of people started questioning. And you see automatically we're back to recovering on that. If we were trading this hypothetically, right, I would be looking something like this, right? But that would be crazy, right? To for the markets to do what we wanted to do. So this is what I would be looking for VIX. So if VIX possibility of a fear going on, then that would indicate that I would kind of be a little bit bearish on indices, even though indices are very bullish. Yeah, we missed this. Insane, right? This was a setup we had. Simple consolidation, breaker structure, change of character, right? Market missed by a couple pips, and they continued going on. But as of today, we go to the 5 minute. Markets are bullish. We got 3 minutes till market opens. Neri, what did you have for indices today? Were you bullish or bearish?
Overall, like bigger time frame, just bullish, but I can see if like NQ like NAS actually holds that and shifts lower, then we can for sure drop.
Yeah,
That's
I can
fine.
see bullish. Yeah,
Yeah, like bigger
I
time frames for sure. We're bullish, but I would say like if I mean we can see what happens from that. Right now,
so what I
MYM's about to
go ahead.
activate. I have a little small setup, like a one to
You
two.
can share your screen real quick.
Let's right over here. Let's see if actually it hits right there. It might be one of those days. If this actually just goes from here and just starts pushing lower, then that's it. Lock. But overall, this will be an act just a counter trend setup, everybody. It's more of just kind to catching this lower high point that we have here and seeing if this holds. But we're not going to go crazy with it just because we are still bullish. I mean, if NQ actually shifts lower, then that'll be awesome. But I mean, this is something that I would. And if this actually holds, then I mean, we can sweep this entire liquidity position. Okay, so it just activated for me on my end. So TP2. Well, let's see. I mean, this is like New York high as well, too. So, I mean, could we get this to hold? Mm, N
Yeah, that's
NQ.
a
Go ahead.
I see what you see. What would make sense a little bit for me, and I can see that happening. Do you see the NQ buys around 30 to 85?
Here, show your screen so I can see it.
Give me a second. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. So this is what I got as of right now. If I would be getting any setups today, it would be this, and your MYM kind of would match with this trade, which would be badass setup. Which I agree, believe are you in profit right now?
I'm still surviving. And then it's about to hit. No, I'm still in. It's still there's like a little bit. It's about it. It
So
was about to hit my stop loss. Huh?
for me, what would make sense is for the market to come liquid. These guys all right here, right? Work our way back down to this area and then work our then continue on our bullish trend. It is New York open. It's 8:31. Market is showing little bearish signs from Nasdaq. US 30 is rejecting. Are you still in that area? I
No.
know yours is no. Cool. So Neri took a small loss. Yeah, I'm very bullish. I am gonna personally wait on these setups. So for SPX, it's gonna be around 725 for buys. 725 to 7530. Simple 1 to 3 guys. It's very important that you understand the way that me and Neri trade. Me personally, just so y'all can have the rules, I'm a very 101. Once I go to 101 risk or reward, my stop loss goes straight to break even, right? Once I'm at 1 to 3, right? Either I'm taking out of my trade, or I'm taking partials and letting the rest ride if necessary. We are seeing bullish tendencies from SPX, Nasdaq, and US 30 is taking off. Nasdaq is still holding down. It looks like Nasdaq is gonna be. Wow, look at US 30 go. So yeah, I like SPX and Nasdaq a lot. Neri, what do you think about these two setups?
I like your Nasdaq.
Yeah, I like Nasdaq too.
Makes more sense from it.
Yeah, I would honestly just trade the lagging pair. That would be my go-to. Let's go to the 1 minute. If we wanted to trade the 1 minute, um, if you want to be a degenerate with me, I'm gonna enter this one with a small risk if it hits my play. Um, so looking for NAS sells. This is gonna be it. It might just leave us. We break below here, it just might have left us. But yep, looks like it's gone. Right, and kind of explain this play, guys, real quick on why I'm entering this trade. Obviously there's liquidity here. What I just saw for me is a closure below. What I personally was waiting on my entry to be an exact entry. This candle doesn't have a wick. We just made a closure below this other candle right here. What I was simply waiting for was a retracement to this area. We missed it by 4 pips. And if you enter that, congratulations. You just enter a little too early. I'm a little straightforward with my rules. So I'm a little bit more disciplined into waiting for my setup and not just jumping into it because I made a very ton of mistakes in the start of my journey because of things like that. If we go to this order block, I'll get in. I'll let you in though. I'm not in yet. I am not in yet, guys. Patience. I'm not in. Not in, not in, not in. Sounds good, Neri. Thank you. Yo, guys, drop a 1 for Neri. She has to go for the day, but we will be ending off the Zoom. So we are not in this trade yet. We are just waiting. Um, let's look at the bigger time frame. So what we did see is we just liquidated these guys right here. So it makes sense why this wouldn't be something that can just become bullish. So what we'll do is if we close above here, guys, we will then look for bullish tendencies. The reason why this is called a turtle swoop, right? What just happened is we liquidated these buyers right now, right? Who are the buyers? Retail, right? We liquidated these retail buyers. Market intentionally went down, right? Now we are looking at the market personally, retrace. Wait. right? We're seeing the market retrace. What I want to see is a closure above. So then market is now in bullish tendencies and we can look for buys. But other than that, we are going to be waiting on this setup. Let's go check out silver. We had a silver setup for you guys. Silver, we're still waiting for a closure below. We're still waiting for a closure below. Nothing has then yet happened in silver. Just been consolidating. Gold as well. We did see a closure within gold, but we want to see it break below this line right here. So silver and gold, we're still being patient on. Oil is working its way up. Nasdaq, being patient. So you see how we didn't close above? We're just being patient. We haven't seen a closure. If we see this play pay out, guys, this is gonna be a good play. It's a 5 minute play, right? Obviously, the first setup we have is a little lower. What we want to see happen right now in the markets is very simple. Is we want to see the market close above, right? Close above previous, right? The previous market, previous lower high, right? Create a new high, work our way back down, and continue higher. This is what we want to see right now on the 5 minute. We have 1 more minute into the 5 minute closes. And the reason why, like I just mentioned, liquidity was swept. Market liquidated buyers, right? What market just did, it impulsively shot down, took out all these people that were in the market, right? What then is going to happen is the market is going to have to close above the previous lower high. Once we close above the previous lower high, right, we're going to just see a small retracement back down, and then we're going to continue going higher, right? So it's looking good. It's looking good, right? I really like this setup. So we are not getting in this trade yet. We have not, Neri has only entered YM. We personally have not entered one single trade, right? We are still waiting, right? I will let y'all know when we get in. Okay. How's that 5 minute looking? Getting small rejections. We gotta see a closure. Not looking good. And if we don't see a closure, then we will just wait for this buy down here. If this market continues going lower. Again, guys, we are not in a trade yet, right? I will let you know when we are in a trade. Being patient. So let me go to the YouTube, right, and see what's going on in the comments real quick. Give me a second. Four minutes. And we don't want to impulsively get in these buys. Let's say this market just starts buying. We see a 5 minute closure. We want to wait on retracement. We don't want to jump in, right? That's the biggest thing I can recommend. We got 5 people watching right now. Let's get this link out. Let me turn this volume down real quick. Okay, we're still being patient. We're still waiting for a closure. We got 3 minutes left. Market then reacted. It's looking good. Like I said, guys, if this setup hits, this is gonna be one of the better setups for the day. Market is bullish, right? Last week we did have a scare in VIX. What VIX is, this is very simple. It's the fear within the stock markets, specifically the SPX, right? As we can see that last week when we had that big fall, there's just a lot of fear in the market. Um, but I can see us working our way up. Okay, we're about to close above, right? We got 2 minutes left. It's looking very, very good. Let's go look at the chats. Chat's still loading. Okay. So now you might ask, like, Gio, where will you enter? Right? I'm gonna enter at the entry zone. Right? Once we see a closure, it hits our entry, I'll get into our entry zone. So we got 2 minutes left, guys. Biggest thing that has changed my really perspective and my paradigm when it came to trading is understanding where money is at and why the markets move the way they do. I think it's very important to understand the why behind the technicals, right? More of the fundamentals, right? More of the manipulation going on to the market. Where market's pushing up, it looks like we're gonna get a 5 minute closure. We see this 5 minute closure, we will get in buys on NASDAQ. We are waiting on confirmation. So we got 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Silver, as of right now, we're seeing it break below, right? We want to see a closure below 72.50 for buys, right? Gold is working its way down as well, slowly by slowly. And then oil, right, is getting up there. So last minute, right? 1 more minute. We need to see a closure above our previous lower high. Right there. Just playing with us today. 30 seconds. And this is why, patience is key. It's not always about chasing the market or catching the most pips. Most of the time, people don't understand or come to the realization that sometimes the best trade is no trade, right? I'd rather sit here patiently waiting for one of my setups to hit than, impatiently, right, getting into a market and being a posted buyer. So we're gonna be patient. We haven't seen that closure yet, sadly. We have not seen that closure yet. We did see a sweep of liquidity, but no closure to the upside. So that keeps us patient as of right now. No buys as of yet. Right? We want to see a closure above here. Just to build that data, that more confirmation that we are bullish and the market's not just fooling us, and market's going to continue going lower. Cool. So let me look at the chat real quick. Neri, start whenever you get better confirmation, do you trade on a 30-minute or do you have a different approach? 45 minutes and setting up nice. Okay, we'll check it out. So NASDAQ is patiently waiting. Dow Jones, right, had an impulsive move up. Now we're waiting for it. Personally, for me, that what would make most sense on not US 30. Probably be something like this. Cool. Yeah, this is what I would look for US 30, 51,750. It is still far away, but I do believe there is reasoning for it to come down. And if we want to be a little bit more specific, find our entry a little bit more in depth. Mm, this is what I would want to see. And then work our way higher. So Dow Jones, I'm looking for 51,875 for potential buys. Nasdaq is now officially becoming bullish. We are waiting now for a retest after a closure to get into this market. So we will be getting into Nasdaq once this 5-minute closure happens. All right, we are waiting for a 5-minute closure. 5-minute closure. Patiently waiting. We got 1 minute left. We got 5 people watching right now, guys. This is gonna be a NAS 100 buy that we are gonna get into once we see a closure. Actually, I am okay. I am personally gonna be entering. Got 1 minute left. All right, we're gonna go for a 1 of 3, guys. Nasdaq is officially active for buys. You have 2 choices, right? You can enter where it's at, right? I'm gonna enter a small position where it's at, and then I'm gonna wait for retracement to enter my original position at our entry area. But Nasdaq is officially active. And we are in. I am in NAS 100 buys. NAS buys are active. Who's in there with me? Drop a 1 in the YouTube chat if you are in NAS 100 buys. We're gonna push this to the side. We're just gonna focus here. So at 101, guys, we are gonna put our stop loss at break even. 101 is very simple for me. What I've understood in trading is most of the times you really get greedy, right? And the best trade, sometimes, like I mentioned, is no trade. So what you have to understand, for me, for a trade to potentially go to its fullest possibility of it making its move, I just wanted to do as much as I'm risking. If it does as much as I'm risking, I will automatically move my stop loss to break even, right? Once my stop loss is break even, like I mentioned, I'll let it ride to a 1 of 3. And we are approaching 101, guys. We are, I would say, 30 pips in profit right now. NAS 100 is completely pushing up. So we are 37 pips in profit. Let's go check out silver real quick. Silver is about to close. We want to see a 5 and 15 minute closure, right? There's 3 minutes left before the 5 minute closure and 8 minutes left before the 15 minute closure. Once we see it close below, right, we will then be entering sells. I obviously do see this consolidation, big move down, created two new highs. This can be a potential buy setup, but I do like our sell setup working our way down. Now, NAS is pushing its way up. At 101, guys, I'm gonna leave y'all for the day. But you know, we're gonna let it ride as of right now. It's playing into the zone, and we are in profit. So drop a one if you're in that. Okay, we got JoJo, Nova. Let's go. Right, slowly pushing our way up. This for me, this is like a 80% chance that this trade will go my way. I am very confident in this setup. Meaning, I've done this setup. I back test this setup. It's actually, you know, it's doing what it needs to right now. But we're just gonna let it play out and let it do its thing. So as of right now, we are in a Nasdaq. We are personally like 30 pips in profit. And we're just taking it slow. Gold is reacting, pushing higher. Silver, we still don't see a closure on silver. It's rejecting. It's looking like it wants to go back up, but overall, in the 15 minute, we can see a possibility it's still working its way down. So, well, you know, Nasdaq again, it's still in that area. If you want to get into it, you're still capable. Do not get in multiple positions more than you need to, right? But if it gets closer to the entry, it's still eligible until it hits a 101. Let's go. Just so while we wait on Nasdaq to do its thing, let's go check out Bitcoin. Right, Bitcoin right now, it's at a zone that it's rejecting, creating new highs. If we go to the bigger time frames, right, we did liquidate all these buyers that have buying positions from 60,000. Feel like market intentionally went down one more time to sweep them out. We might be seeing impulsive, impulsive candles up to the upside within Bitcoin within the next weeks, months. I can see that happening. Solana at 74. Chainlink, Solana is in my buy area still, which was 75. Chainlink is at $8. I just bought some ICP. ICP is currently at $2. And Mike Sotero planned it to go either to $8 or $16, which I can see as well. Follow USD still at 78 cents. Jupiter. And personally, these are the cryptos that I've been holding for a minute. Casper at 3 cents and Ethereum at $1,800, which is. So let's refresh this. So Nasdaq is still sitting around 30 pips in profit, guys. You know, in this trade, let me see. I didn't even see Forex Factory this one. So we got Dojo, Nova. We got a couple viewers still on here. So today we just have Australian JPY. Wednesday we have CPI for Great British, USD. We have FOMC tomorrow, and then Thursday we have some GBP and CHF news. And it looks like that will be it. So tomorrow will pretty much be one of the more volatile days. Nasdaq officially 50 pips in profit, guys. Right? We are 40 pips away from stop loss. Being at break even. So this is a great look for NAS 100. So Jojo, Nova, congrats on hopping in that. Personally, I'm gonna hold it right until it hits 101, right? Then I will put my stop loss at break even. Till then, we'll write it down. US 30 is about to hit our entry, right? US 30 is 50 pips away from entry, right? This is a bigger risk. You're risking around 120 pips, right? This is a 1 of 3. And I can see this trade really going our way. If you wanted to be a more riskier individual, you can drop your stop loss out to 51,818, which would make it a 60 pip stop loss, right? So if you want to just be a little riskier, this is what I would look for. I mean, this kind of really makes sense to me personally. So US 30, that means that if US 30 is going to continue going higher, that means NASDAQ should follow through as well with it. SPX is still consolidating, and US oil still fighting its way, right? We just saw our first 5 minute. There's 2 minutes left for a 5 minute closure on silver. Once we see that 5 minute closure and 15 minute closure on silver, we got 5 minutes, 2 minutes left on both. We will look for potential sells. If we do see this closure, I will be looking for a sell back into this order block. But silver is looking nice. And NAS, it's working its way a little bit back down, still in it. And US 30 is active, right? US 30 is active for buys. Boom, we got a rejection, 10 pips in profit already, 20 pips profit already, right? So once we get to 60 pips in profit, which would be our 101, is when we will initiate our funds to stop loss at break even. So the two trades we have entered today is US 30 and NASDAQ. So 75.30 be 35 right here, 37, right? NASDAQ still fighting within 20 pips in profit. So we gotta wait. US 30, 30 pips in profit, guys. 30 pips in profit if you are in US 30, right? US 30, 40 pips in profit. Let's go. Right, 10 more pips and we are moving stop loss to break even. NASDAQ, it's looking like it's pushing down a little bit, still holding its way up. Right, US 30 is about to hit break even, guys. So if we are in this US 30, our 1 of 3 is here. I do see this continue going higher. So I would probably do like a 1 of 7. Boom. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. NASDAQ is fighting its way. US 30 is just immaculately pushing higher. We're 10 pips away from stop loss being moved to break even on US 30. I am okay. Congratulations, guys. You can now push your stop loss to break even on US 30. US 30 is now a risk-free trade. Everything is now at break even, risk-free trade. Congratulations if you got into that trade. TP1 is going to be here. This is where we're going to take partials. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Drop a 1 if you got into that. US 30 break even trade. Let's go. So US 30 right now floating in over 100 pips in profit, right? NAS 100 is who's fighting. It's fighting, right? But as of right now, US 30 was a full go. Congratulations. This is a successful trade. And I'm glad that y'all were able to experience this. Let's go. JoJo's in there, Nova, I see you in there as well. Let's go. Over 100 pips. Guys, if you can drop this into the Discord, that would be amazing. Drop your results. I am going to be holding NAS 100. I still see NAS 100 going our way. I feel it's just being a little laggy. I feel like US 30 just gave me that confidence that it's going to continue going higher. And I'm excited to see where these things go. But US 30 officially a break-even trade. We followed our rules. Small risk reward. Now TP1 is our 1 of 3. If you want to take partials at 1 of 3, that can be amazing. And Nasdaq, it's just fighting its way. So guys, what I'm gonna do. It's already 9:02. If I'm gonna open it up for any questions for Jojo, Nova, if y'all can drop it in the chat. If y'all have any questions on maybe why I saw the trade, maybe what I was looking into the market, and most importantly, why did we even get in? If y'all have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask. But as of right now, it looks like we are mad in profit. We are holding US 30, right? US 30 is 150, 120 pips in profit. So congratulations if you took US 30, 120 pips in profit. NAS 100, it's fighting, right? We're gonna leave it at that. Gold, it has broken below a new low, and it looks like silver did as well. So silver is as well actively active, right? For me, I'm gonna wait for it just to get into the zone, right? But it is active. If you want to get in silver, we already got in US 30, right? I would take a smaller risk. I'm gonna enter silver. It's gonna be a smaller risk. I'm not gonna be risking as much as my other trades, right? And I might just be using a 1/4%. Actually, that's what I'm gonna be risking. I'm risking a 1/4% on silver on my account, right? US 30. We traded per both these trades with our usual amount, which is anywhere from 0.5% to 1%. Nasdaq is falling. US 30 is a successful trade for us. And then silver is absolutely active right now, guys. So that being said, guys, let me look at the questions real quick. Thank you, Gio. Gold instead of NAS, but we secured it. Let's go. I love it. Right. So silver is active. NAS it's fighting for its life. I'm still confident in NAS. There's no reason in my head why it shouldn't. And Dow Jones confirmedly in profit, guys. So, guys, I want to leave you at that. Actually, before I let y'all go, right, I just want to do something. I might get in trouble for this. Probably will. Right? US 30, 125 pips in profit, right? NAS 100 is fighting its way up, right? It's getting there. And silver, I am in silver with a very, very small risk, right? Very, very small risk, right? All right, we'll leave y'all off with this, right? And we will call it a day. Silver.
Bro, them Bentleys up behind me. Know what's in my truck? Doing 90 and a 35. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Let's go, guys. Happy Tuesday, guys. I hope y'all have an amazing day. We appreciate y'all hopping on. Tune in for next week with Neri. And drop if you are in profit, if you made any money today with me or with Neri, drop it in the chat, guys. Love y'all. I'll see y'all next session. Peace.